Hello, everybody. So, at long last, after 4 months of waiting, all my tools and equipment and personal items that I got in Japan arrived in Colorado. And this was a relief because I was so worried that this stuff was going to get lost or damaged along the way. It's quite a bit of stuff, and now I have to find a place for it in the shop.
Oh my goodness. This is a lot of tools in a lot of bins. This is what happens when you have stuff in storage in Maryland and Japan and in Colorado for about 2 years all over the world. Ugh. It's time to unify all this together, organize it, and figure out what we're going to do with it. So I think I have to add some shelves and come up with some sort of pattern scheme. Oof, this is insane. I whipped together this little tool maintenance station, grinding pedestal. I gotta reorganize this a bit, but this is basically going to be like where sharpening happens, plane adjustment, tool cleaning adjustment, that type of work. That maintenance is critical. And got the vacuum down there. I still need to figure out some organization here and if there are going to be shelves up there, but basically at this point I have this massive mess and all these boxes, and so I need to basically reorganize everything and figure out homes for a lot of these tools. And the driving methodology here is going to be, okay, what is necessary in each space, right? So what's going to happen in here? This is going to be sort of a general workshop / woodworking shop. And so I'm going to need all the woodworking tools, some of the mechanical tools, woodworking materials, finishing materials, and then sort of the other materials for side projects, tool building, tool maintenance. If I pull the truck in here to do maintenance on that, or my buddy's truck or whatever, or the Bronco. So mechanical stuff, wire, soldering gear, all that type of stuff. And then in this area, I'm imagining this would make more sense for storage of things that maybe aren't going to be as used as often, special items, or like the gases and the welding equipment, maybe finishes that we want to keep away. Any welding that I'm going to be doing, I'll probably end up doing sort of like something out here so that it doesn't catch anything on fire. So the welding equipment can kind of get stashed there. And then a whole bunch of the other stuff can kind of go into storage in the trailer until I build that trailer out to be, a portable contractor workshop trailer. For example, a great example is like I have, masonry drills and chisels and stuff like that, and a rotary hammer and the gas-powered saw. So I'm probably not going to be using a gas-powered diamond saw with a hose spraying in the shop. And so stuff like that can live in basically the temporary storage shed, which is the trailer. Because if I need to do something with masonry, or do something with tiling, or do something with painting, I'm going to need those tools somewhere else, either in my friend's house or on a client site. So none of that stuff needs to clutter up the shop. And if there's a rare case where I need to paint something, I can go grab it from the trailer. So how am I going to how am I going to do all that organization? Really, what we need to do is we need to know what we have and where it's going to go. And I have stuff in my tool drawers, my portable toolboxes from being on the road for 2 years, my Japanese toolboxes, my totes of different kinds, packaged up stuff from Japan. It's all over the place. I don't know exactly what's where, and how much storage I need here versus there versus whatever. So I'm basically going to open up everything, lay it out in rows, kind of figure out different piles, consolidate things that need consolidation, and go from there. So this will be a big Tetris game. Okay, I have some space to put stuff. Look at this brand new shelf. A brand new shelf suddenly accumulates things randomly put on it. You have to be careful. This is overwhelming, but I have a strategy. Here's more shelving. Here's my storage philosophy. Definitely honed while I was in Japan. Group like items and service items, tools, consumables in the same box. Why carry 2 boxes when you can carry 1 box? Does it make sense to carry every type of pneumatic nail in a pneumatic nail box, and then the other box that contains a pneumatic nailer, and then rummage around for air tool oil? It does not. So this is like my teacher in Japan did this, and I was like, oh, this is so obvious. I don't know why I didn't think about this before. I'm sure this is not new to people, but that's how I'm going to organize a lot of this stuff. So let's take that pneumatic nailer example. My stapler, the staples and the nailer and the stapler should go in the same box. The bits for the groover itself, and wrenches. See, this is a change that I've had sort of from my minimalist youth. You know, like you should only need 1 13mm wrench, or 2 if you're going to have like a box end that you can open something up. No. The time it takes to find that wrench may outweigh the sort of labor time cost as to just get a second cheap wrench, throw it in the box for the thing you need the wrench for. So this is going to be part of the organization process, is sort of taking stock of what I have, distributing extra tools into places where they can be best used. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by pulling out all of the personal items. Interspersed through some of these boxes are like stuff that came from Japan for my house, some of my wife's stuff, all that stuff. Pull that out into some bins. That's going to go out of the garage. We'll put that in the apartment. Then I'm going to pick out these little boxes that are ready to go, that do not need any extra organization. Easy example is I have a biscuit box. That box is only going to contain biscuits, and it's full of biscuits. So I don't need to reorganize that. That's just going to go right over there for being put away. Then I will start with some of the other low-hanging fruit. Picking out sets of tools, finding a box that they'll fit in, or a drawer, and consolidating them. For example, here we have the beginnings of a die grinder reorganization thing. We'll finish that out. The hardest part is going to be figuring out how to prioritize hand tools, battery powered and power tools, and some of the stuff that I want out versus stuff that's going to get stored in these drawers. That'll I don't know, I'll have to figure that out. And then once a lot of the reorganization is done, I will put the bins in their homes based on what space is left, sort of by priority usage. So I'm probably not gonna. I have a domino. I have those dominoes because I bought them to use with somebody else's domino. So I'm probably not gonna need the dominoes all that often. So that can go high up on the shelf. Whereas gloves or wire or soldering or zip ties, I use those often. So I'll probably group that stuff together. It's not woodworking related, but when I do machine restorations or fixing truck stuff, I usually need all those. So I'm probably not going to put those too high up. And then there's other stuff that either is going to get stored in there or in the trailer itself. For example, my masonry bits. That'll probably end up getting grouped with the tool that uses them. Or the angle grinder stuff, same thing. Or the hole saws. That'll probably go in the closet. And I'll work through these chemicals and stuff like that. I'm also going to start distributing fasteners that I find into these Husky fastener bins. What I like about these is you can take the bin out. So if you need a specific fastener, you just grab it. They had these awesome ones in Japan that had a belt clip. I wish these had it. Because you need screws for a certain job, you take it out, clip it on your belt. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to organize these inside the bins because that will limit my thinking. Like if I have, let's say I end up having 10 a certain kind of fastener, then I can put the other 2 here and put this in a different bin. So I'll start by organizing all the fasteners into the bins, then organize the bins, then find places for the bins. And another project that I'll whip out is a clamp rack. So I'm going to start cutting the material for that.
So the purpose of this clamp rack is obviously to organize all my different size clamps. And one way to easily do that is to make it adjustable. So the whole design is based around building these triangular supports that hang on a little cleat, kind of like a French cleat, but it's not exactly a French cleat. And so you can space out the left and right side of these triangles to form a channel that your clamps can hang from. And then you can also move that whole double triangle piece along the cleat to space out the clamps from each other. And so I basically built several of these triangles and a couple of rails to support them and could organize all the clamps in a sensible way. So with all the shelving in place and a clamp rack, all that was really left to do was clean up this huge mess. So that is what I will leave you with, a little organization porn. And it was very satisfying to finally have everything put in a place and have all the tools have homes. In the next video, I will go a little deeper into how I built this assembly table / workbench. So enjoy. I will see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I hope you found this content helpful. Please consider supporting Never Stop Building by clicking that red subscribe button and the little bell so you get notified when I make new videos. Even better is to become a Patreon where you can get early access to videos, plans and CAD models, and some other cool benefits. Click the description below for a link. And always, never stop building.